Hello everyone, this is Abi, aka onlyabidoang. Yes, I started using facecam since 23 videos ago, and today we're gonna be taking a look at 15 times The Sims 4 got very creepy. Sorry guys, got a bit of a sudden sore throat there. Anyway, yeah, this video is gonna be a Halloween special because I'm gonna show you some of the creepiest facts and features that made The Sims 4 a little too creepy. Yes, I'm in a Grim Reaper costume right now, well, because why not? Look at this side that I got. Yeah, it's a plastic side, but still cool. Now then, let's see what horror awaits. Okay, now with that voice. Who doesn't know about Mannequins? They've been a part of the game for quite a while. You can find them in Create-a-Sim when editing uniforms or in fashion retail stores from Get to Work. But there's actually a creepy little secret behind their existence in the game. Don't worry, this isn't lore, just some technical stuff. You see, mannequins in The Sims 4 are actually sim models frozen in place. If you check the game files, you can find Create-a-Sim parts that resemble the mannequin skin. This means that mannequins are basically sims underneath, which is also why you cannot change their size in build by mode, because well, you can do the same for sims. If you somehow manage to transfer the skin to a living sim, either through mods or by downloading them from the gallery, you can actually play as a living mannequin. And yes, they act like regular sims, which makes the whole thing even creepier. I've talked about this in detail in an older video if you'd like to check it out. Now we're getting somewhere a bit more magically creepy by talking about the spellcaster cult from the realm of Magic Pack. On their journey to master magic, spellcasters can get curses, usually after failing to cast spells, overcharging, messing up a potion brew, etc. There are several types of curses, but one of the most terrifying ones is the curse of the Night Wraith. This curse is unlike any other. First of all, your sim will always be tired. Their energy need will stay low at all times and will not deplete nor increase, even if they drink coffee. On top of that, they can never sleep, as long as the curse is active. Basically, eternal sleepless exhaustion. And as an adult, that alone sounds horrifying already, but that's not the worst part. Based on the curse's description, it is said that a spectral stalker is hunting you. Spectral stalker? What even is that? Well, at night, your home may be visited by this terrifying quote-unquote sim. This is the Night Wraith, a ghostly, Voldemort-looking creature with glowing eyes that definitely doesn't seem friendly. It will approach your sim and scream right in their face, sending them running in fear. While it's around, it'll keep repeating this routine of approaching and screaming at your sim again and again and again. It'll even chase you if you try to leave the area. Thankfully, after a few hours, it'll disappear out of thin air. But don't relax too soon, because as long as you still have the curse, it will come back the next night to haunt you again. Yeah, you'll want to find a cure for this curse as soon as possible. Now let's go to Copperdale, the old mining town from the high school years back. This town was founded by Jasper Prescott, the ancestor of the current Prescott family who still lives here to this day. However, in the Prescott Square district, there's one spot that looks a little suspicious, which is this old hut right here. During the day, it looks perfectly normal, but at night, for some reason, it'll start to get a bit foggy around the area. And if you look closely, you might witness a ghostly figure appearing right in front of the hut. If you move your camera too close, the figure will disappear, so it's best to keep your distance and zoom in from afar. This is believed to be the ghost of Jasper Prescott, the founder of Copperdale. Unfortunately, instead of being an actual in-game ghost, it's just a flat sliding image you cannot interact with. Still, it's pretty spooky from the distance. A similar thing can also be found in the Galloping Gulch district of Chestnut Ridge, a world from the Horse Ranch pack. Near a broken bridge, you'll find a tombstone labeled The Unknown Horse. And at night, just across the bridge, you might spot the ghost of a horse in the distance, silently staring at your sim before vanishing. The ghost horse isn't interactable either, but you can ride an actual ghost horse in the game if you befriend a real one that has previously died of old age. Now I wanna go somewhere much busier, and that is the San Myshuno world from the City Living Pack. Apartments are one of the most popular places to live here, but one particular unit called 131321 Chic Street might catch your attention. This apartment has a special unmodifiable law trait called Needs DLC. Once you move in, you'll quickly notice just how challenging this place can be. Leaking plumbing, flickering electricity, weird smells, and even mice infestations, all happening around you. But that's not the worst part. After dealing with all that, you might decide to completely renovate the place and start fresh. But as soon as you remove this particular rug in the living room, you'll be greeted with something disturbing. Underneath the rug lies an outline of a figure on the floor, resembling a corpse tape from a crime scene. That's right, it's been there the whole time. And if that's not creepy enough, you cannot even remove it in build by mode, not even with the move objects cheat. So yeah, it's going to stay there forever and there's nothing you can do about it. Well, unless you bulldoze the entire lot beforehand, which removes it completely. Anyway, there's also another clue related to this in the game. Sometimes, you might get invited to a theater by one of your friends. This phone call is actually bugged by the way, and I don't think you can receive it in normal gameplay anymore. Correct me if I'm wrong though. After you finish watching the show, there's a chance that one of the musicals will mention a murder that happened at 1313 Chic Street, which basically confirms that this was indeed a crime scene. Now, the real mystery is, who are all the Sims involved in this? Could it be the previous tenant who was murdered? Or maybe it has something to do with Penny Pizzazz, the famous social media influencer who lives right across the room. That's something we'll never truly know. Damn it, Emily, what the heck? Still in San Myshuno, this next entry is creepy not because of its background or gameplay, but because of how it actually looks visually. In certain districts of San Myshuno, if you look at the background areas your sim and camera cannot normally reach, you'll see a bunch of pedestrians walking around to make the city feel alive. But if you use 3 camera mode to cross those boundaries, you'll quickly realize that these pedestrians aren't real sims at all, but rather extremely low poly fake imposters of them. Their faces are flat and blurry, their eyes look empty. Their bodies look like they're made of melted clay, and look at their fingerless hands. The closer you look, the creepier they get. There are plenty of them wandering around back there, moving endlessly in loops. If you follow one long enough, it'll suddenly vanish as soon as it crosses an invisible barrier. In other districts, you can even spot a low-poly child model walking around with a bouncy gait but a completely expressionless doll-like face. Yeah, lesson learned. Never zoom in on these background pedestrians ever again. For the next one, we're talking about a set of 3 paintings from the Spooky Stuff Pack. At first glance, they look like regular old Victorian portraits of a man and a woman. Nothing strange, right? But if you wait and watch closely for a few seconds, yeah, the picture suddenly changes into a creepy, twisted version of them. Both the man, the woman, and the couple portraits transforms every once in a while, switching back and forth between normal and terrifying. Pretty spooky if you don't see it coming. Another painting, this time from the Reaper's Reward limited time event back in 2024, shows a sweet-looking woman named Mimsy with a burnt corner on the frame. Unlike the previous painting, this one will not change if you just wait for it casually. But once a sim actively views it, that's when the real transformation begins. The painting changes from a portrait of Mimsy alone to one where a ghostly figure suddenly appears behind, hugging her, accompanied by an eerie sound and green paint dripping from the top. After a while, the painting changes back to normal. As it turns out, both of them are Mimsy and Bernard, the ghostly couple haunting the Von Hound estate in Windenburg, who died in the tragic fire that burned down their mansion. Let's dive into deeper waters now. We'll head to the ocean of Solani, though this can happen in any deep body of water across other worlds. After your sim swims for too long in these deep waters, there's a low chance something mysterious might suddenly pull them underwater. They'll disappear for a moment before resurfacing in panic. This occurrence happens very rarely though, but the chance of this happening increases if your sim has previously encountered a shark before. And here's where it gets darker. If you get pulled underwater again in the same swimming session, there's a high chance your sim won't make it back. After resurfacing, they'll play the death by drowning animation, but with different, creepier music than the usual ocean drowning music sting. Some believe it's the work of evil mermaids since they can drag Sims underwater too, though they cannot actually kill them because, well, this is The Sims. Others think it's sharks. Either way, we'll never really know what's lurking down there. But hey, at least Grim gets to show up with some stylish snorkeling goggles when collecting your soul. Let's go way back to around the year 2021, when the main menu of The Sims 4 still looked like this. There was one poster that reminded players to check their Sim's phone. It became infamous not because of the message itself, but because of the Sim featured in that poster. The community called her the Phone Girl, and she gained a reputation for being really creepy, mainly because of her unnaturally wide eyes and overly cheerful smile, as if she's staring into our souls through the screen. Then, in late April 2022, for a few days, the game's menu suddenly turned into a full-on horror show featuring her plastered all over. Even the Sims' official social media accounts were taken over by her unsettling grin. It turned out to be a delayed April Fool's joke that came out after a late month patch, which confused a lot of players. You can even find her in the gallery now, uploaded by Maxis under the name Kalia Maybe. Ah, I see what they did there. Now you can truly add her to your game if you dare. Back in The Sims 2, we were already aware of the mysteries of the Specter household in Strange Town, specifically Olive Specter's dark past. Her backyard was filled with tombstones of random Sims, including her many deceased spouses, and she had a strange romantic relationship with the Grim Reaper himself. This disturbing background continues in The Sims 4 Life and Death Pack, where the Specter household is remade in the world of Ravenwood. It now consists of Olive, Nyan Specter, previously known as Nervous Subject in The Sims 2, who is revealed to be the child of Olive and the Grim Reaper, and a new character named Lane Coffin, who is said to have no idea about Olive's past. Rumors about their family's dark history continue to spread if you ask around. Nyan often worries about how their family always seems to be surrounded by death, while Lane is said to behave oddly and occasionally expresses a desire to become a ghost. Olive's former lovers' graves also return in this installment, with their tombstones scattered on a small area in Ravenwood. There's also a disturbing room in Olive's basement, hidden behind a secret door, containing a set of knives, a refrigerator, and a single chair, possibly hinting at how her past lovers might have passed away. Maybe because of her bad quality power vision gear, I don't know. Anyway, once you're close enough with Lane, you might receive a random phone call from him saying that he has a secret he wants to reveal. If you agree to hear it, the next time you meet him, you'll have the option to ask about the real him. If you choose this, he not only reveals that he's actually evil, replacing his previously good trait, but also confesses that the reason he wanted to get close to Olive is because he desperately wants to become a ghost himself, especially considering Olive's past. It seems Lane really wants to be her next victim in line. From early demise, euthanasia, rigor mortis, and now Lane Coffin. Still in Life and Death, this pack also introduced a new TV channel called Static. Just like its name, it normally only shows white noise. Sims will get bored watching it, but ghosts, for some reason, become hypnotized by it. Anyway, there's something much creepier going on with this channel. You see, the pack also added a new lot trait called Unhallowed Grounds. This trait causes your house to experience all kinds of haunted occurrences. Thick fog rolling in, cold air appearing out of nowhere, and even cracks opening to another dimension. One of these hauntings involves the TV itself. At random times, usually during the night, the TV will turn on by itself and start showing the static channel, but this time it's different. Instead of the usual plain noise, it displays several disturbing footage, spinning chairs, random shots of Sims and old buildings, and even a sudden jump scare near the end. If you look closely, you might even spot a faint red silhouette of a girl flickering in the static. And then it happens. A ghost child pops out of the TV, lets out a shrieking scream, and sends nearby Sims into full panic or even causes them to faint before disappearing right after that. I think this whole thing is a reference to the Ring movie. Anyway, that ghost girl is named Edith. She can usually be found wandering near the Well of Longing and Regret in Ravenwood. Near that same well, you can also find her tombstone. She's also the daughter of Alice, another ghost residing in Ravenwood, where it is revealed that she died drowning in this very same well if you do her quest. Pretty tragic, but still pretty terrifying. With the Eco Lifestyle Pack, once your sim reaches level 5 in the Green Technician branch of the Civil Designer career, you'll unlock the ability to grow cruelty-free meat using the vertical garden. And no, it's not meat that grows on trees or anything like that. It's literally a wall of fleshy red meat. Yeah, ew. It's said to be synthetic, but the way it looks definitely doesn't help. Like plants, you'll need to water it, remove bugs, and tend to it. But here's the creepy part. You can also massage the meat wall to help it grow faster. You can even hear that slimy, squishing sound while doing it, which is really stomach-turning. Once it's fully grown, you can harvest it just like a normal plant, producing fall meat cubes that can be used as a meat substitute in recipes. Still, even vegetarian sims find it repulsive to be near one of these, and honestly, you don't need to be a vegetarian to find this thing absolutely disgusting. Let's get back to the basics, where we go to the world of Willow Creek. Your sim has just discovered the hidden pathway to Sylvan Glade, a magical secret world filled with trees, flickering fairies, rainbows, exhilarating waterfalls, and pink boulders. It's a serene, dreamlike paradise that feels straight out of a fairy tale. But then, in the middle of this peaceful clearing, you somehow start to feel watched. How come? Well, if you take a closer look into the distance, you'll notice them. Many pairs of glowing red eyes staring back at you from the dark woods, following your every move. Is it some kind of a terrifying beast, a lurking monster waiting in the shadows? Nope, it's just a 2D visual effect that cannot be interacted with. Still, for a place that's supposed to be magical and pure, those red eyes are definitely unsettling. Picture this, your sim has just moved into the world of Strangerville. Things seems fine until you're greeted by the welcome wagon. But this isn't your usual plate of fruitcake kind of visit, because this time, your neighbors are acting bizarre. The fruitcake's still there, sure, but if you try to talk to them, they will only respond with unsettling smiles and cryptic laughs. Turns out, all of them are possessed. Their goal? To spread corruption. You might catch them planting these bizarre-looking plants around your lot, or sneaking bizarre fruit into your fridge during their visit. They will also say some weird crap in a notification, telling you to join them in the crater in a weird font. And once they leave, Sims in black suits will show up to confiscate your fridge and those plants like nothing ever happened. The Strangerville pack introduces a new possessed state for Sims, triggered by infection from the mysterious spores, either through spore exposure or eating that strange bizarre fruit. And yeah, this whole possessed thing is the stuff of nightmares, I swear. When transforming, your sim starts coughing and twitching uncontrollably until their eyes widen and that over-the-top smile takes over, like they're no longer in control of their own body. On the bright side, all their needs will be completely fulfilled. After some time, they will turn back to normal, but not fully cured. The symptoms can flare up again at random, since the infection still lingers until you found a cure. You can try to make them snap out of it to temporarily bring them back, but sometimes they may even resist your attempts. Anyway, let's talk more about these possessed Sims. You've probably seen their unsettling walk animation, but have you seen how they run? Oh man, it's even worse. The way their heads are folded backwards with their arms dangling around like that? Damn. Also, they can still talk to other Sims, but it's painfully obvious they're just pretending to act normal. Their twitchy movements and unnervingly wide smile makes every interaction feel off. All in all, possessed Sims are just pure nightmare fuel. The Sims 4 has tons of different death types, around 50 of them in fact. Yeah, I did a video about that a while ago, hence the Grim Reaper costume. Most of them look goofy and cartoony, but there are a handful of them that are just outright terrifying. Take Death by Laughter for example, where your sim will laugh so hard they finally run out of breath and die of asphyxiation. Then there's the Pufferfish Nigiri death after eating a poor quality one, where the sim will look like as if it's choking on it first, trying really hard to breathe until death finally comes. The Rabbit Rodent Fever is also somewhat scary. Your sim will act like a rodent first, with foam coming out of their mouth until they finally succumb to it. Also, have you ever heard of death by falling from heights? While climbing the tallest cliff on Mount Komorebi, one slip can send your sim plummeting to their death in seconds. It all happens so fast, they barely have time to react even. The urban legend death can happen to teens trying to prank their friends by attempting to summon some sort of a Bloody Mary ghost in a mirror, only for it to backfire. A ghostly hand reaches out from the mirror, killing the prankster with sheer terror. The fly's death also looks truly horrifying, with hordes of flies swarming and crawling all over your sim's body, eventually suffocating them to death. Finally, there's the mold death. The infestation takes over your sim's mind, briefly turning them into a grotesque mold-covered zombie before they finally succumb to it. Yeah, some of these deaths can really send shivers down your spine. Okay, for this final entry, we're looking at pets. Cats, dogs, horses, all these cute furry companions. What could possibly be terrifying about these innocent creatures? Well, it's the game's fault. The real horror comes from the glitches that can happen with them, like this one, where my cat randomly stretches into an absurdly exaggerated form while perched on top of the fridge. Or this moment where my dog gets stuck in a panic animation after a fire breaks out, resulting in a strangely deformed, unnerving posture. Also, have you seen how a dog hugs a toddler? Well, they turn into the monster from The Thing before doing so. Or this one time when my horse uses a sim walking animation instead of a proper galloping one. Honestly, this one looks more hilarious than scary though. Okay, this next one isn't the game's fault, just my doing. But I tried forcing some Sims dancing animations onto pets and here's the result. Yeah, they are all stretched and deformed as expected of course. And just look at their heads, what's with the weird twisted necks and those lifeless eyes? It's honestly creepy how unnatural they look, but hey, at least they're rocking those dance moves. So yeah, those are 15 creepy facts and features in The Sims 4. So, what do you think of these entries? Did you know any other creepy features that you've witnessed in any of your Sims games? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you everyone for watching this somewhat creepy video special for Halloween. I hope that you liked the video, and if you do and want more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. See you later. Sorry.